Do you still see a path to victory there?
Absolutely. Look, when you look at the poll you just talked about, it has fewer than half of the people it would need to even qualify to be a poll under the RNC polling criteria. It has a margin of error of over 6%. I mean, it's kind of just a foolish poll with all due respect. And the fact is that in the end, look, Governor Haley got an endorsement this week that got her a lot of free media publicity, but it doesn't change one simple fact. She won't answer questions about Donald Trump. In fact, she said just this week that he's fit to be president. This is a
Yeah.
guy who last night in New Hampshire used Vladimir Putin as a character witness for the decaying democracy in America. I mean, Vladimir Putin is an expert in democracy, and someone who says that is fit to be president of the United States. It's ridiculous. And so, we just continue to move forward because we know that voters are listening to the real things that are being said, and when they do, we'll do very well.
Okay, so New Hampshire won't be the defining moment for whether you continue or not in this race.
All right, New Hampshire will be an important moment, Margaret. There's no doubt. But what won't be a defining moment is your poll of 450 people.
Okay, but it's not
6 weeks before the primary.
It's not just our poll, though. I mean, the National Review, conservative leaning National Review has a piece saying that even if Chris Christie pulled off an upset in New Hampshire, there'd be nowhere else for him to go. A hypothetical Christie win would rely heavily on support from independents and Democrats in the open New Hampshire primary. Those conditions would be impossible to replicate elsewhere. If he's as committed to stopping Trump as he says, it's time for him to retire to his tent. What do you have to say to them?
Well, what I have to say to them is they should try to get the facts right. First of all, Democrats can't vote in the Republican primary in New Hampshire. So they're wrong about that. It's only independents and Republicans.
Right.
Yeah, well, you read me the quote, Margaret. How about you get accurate? Democrats, you said, reading their quote, can vote. They cannot vote in the New Hampshire primary. Secondly, in Michigan, the very same conditions exist 5 weeks from the New Hampshire primary, which is that Republicans and independents can vote in the Michigan primary. So the fact that they say it can't be repeated anywhere, it will be repeated two elections away from New Hampshire. South Carolina happens in between. And so, look, the National Review was campaigning for Ron DeSantis until they concluded that he couldn't win. Now they're campaigning for Nikki Haley, and when they conclude that she can't win either, then they'll move on to somebody else. I don't spend any time worrying about the editors at the National Review.
Okay, noted.